Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalgrim here, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to do a top 10 legendary characters list. We'll rank the legendary characters, and we'll actually do two lists. We're going to do a top 10 legendary characters for free-to-play, where your resources are limited, and every single gem expenditure, it has to be worth it, and we're going to focus on how good the characters are, but at the same time, how good the gem investment to get them is, and how less dependent they are on pay-to-win artifacts, how easier they are to gear up and all that stuff. And then we're going to go all ham on the pay-to-win side of things and not give a crap how hard a character is to get or if it requires beta cloud to do well. I'm just gonna tell them at peak performance. So this way I satisfy both my free-to-play audience and my pay-to-win audience, and I'm going to mainly focus on looking at the bright side of the characters on the free-to-play side of things, and then when we get to the pay-to-win side of things, I'm going to tell you what specifically makes that character so much better for the pay-to-win side of things. So all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and comment down below because that really helps out, and let's get into it. We're going to do this one from number 1 below, because I feel like with doing it like this I can explain why a character is better than everything that will come after it and kind of compare them upwards rather than downwards. So at number 1 for the free-to-play side of things, there's going to be Raven. Like, this is the same for free-to-play and pay-to-win. Raven is such an amazing character, mainly because of her Darkness Fall passive. This will allow you to get a lot of additional damage for herself or a character that's paired up with her. For the pay-to-win side of things, you're going to have beta club and all that stuff. For the free-to-play side of things, this is going to be very useful and is going to have a very good synergy with the League of Anarchy specifically. So either you're free-to-play or pay-to-win, Raven is going to be the best thing for your account by far. She's also great in Arena and Champions right now, but again, we mainly care about raids and soul raids, so Raven all the way at number 1. Coming in at number 2 for the free-to-play side of things, there's going to be Deathstroke. Like, look, Deathstroke is not the easiest character to get. You do have a chance to drop him from a soul raid, and you're going to have also a chest for him, but unlocking him at 3 stars is really the only thing that you need. Because this dude is built with this ability in mind to deal around 90% of the damage that you would deal, let's say, if the fight is healthy enough. Like, if you're gonna fight a 30 mil boss, he's gonna do more damage at hard star rating. But if you're fighting a 1 billion boss, where there's plenty of health percentages to go around, and you're going to encounter a lot of those situations, or maybe 500 mil, the percentage health is going to represent 95% of your damage, even if you have a maxed out Deathstroke. So all you need is a 3-star Deathstroke, and even without gears, because you will heal yourself constantly with special 2. Like, there's a lot of legendary characters you can use without gears, Raven as well, and their gears are not easy to get, but Deathstroke is the representation of the easiest character, most efficient character to use at 3 stars with no gears, and you're going to get the best outcome out of this, and percentage health damage is going to be king in soul raids and league raids. Coming in at number 3 for the free-to-play, again a character that's quite rough to get because you have to get him from a chest or drop him from the solo raids, but at the same time, he's going to yet again have the percentage health thing. The percentage health thing is going to make him work almost as efficiently as he would work at 7 star at a lower star rating. He's going to be a little bit more reliant on the star rating than Deathstroke, and that's the main reason why he's below Deathstroke, and also because he can be run without gears, but he has far less survivability than Deathstroke, and Deathstroke has a far better synergy with North's Globe, allowing him to do more percentage health damages, so it's going to be a little bit more rough to get the best out of him than if you were to use Deathstroke. But if you get to that point where you get the best out of him, he's going to be pretty much as good as Deathstroke. But as I said, you need to be very careful with this dude, because he tends to die, and getting to the point where you're going to be able to do that percentage health damage is going to be far more difficult. Coming in at number 4 for the free-to-play side of things is going to be Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd. And look, this dude doesn't deal damage. This dude doesn't really do anything for the most part. I mean, he can do, but you don't really need him to do anything but sit there in your team. Because you mainly need him for the passives that are going to give power generation to your Batman Ninja team, and the attack and defense reduction on basic attack hits. And look, the Batman Ninja team is great for the free-to-play side of things. Like, for example, I'm currently dealing more with my Batman Ninja team on my secondary account where I don't have Beta Club, then I'm dealing with Manta on my main account if I don't give him Brainiac. So the Batman Ninja team is going to be great, and while you can run it without Grodd, it's going to be a little bit hard to do so and far less efficient. I mean, not hard, just less efficient. He's going to have a challenge, so you can farm him from there if you got League of Ranky characters, which you should anyways try to acquire, and he is going to have a chest that has a very good chance to get him, which is the World Domination chest, having an 8% chance to drop 200 shards that unlock him at 3 stars. And while the higher the star rating, the better for this dude, honestly, you're going to feel a huge difference by having a 3-star Grodd compared to not having a Grodd, and you're going to feel far less of a difference between having a 6-star Grodd and a 3-star Grodd. So this dude is quite easy to get, is going to heavily benefit one of your main teams that's going to deal a lot of damage, and is going to work very well at 3 stars and doesn't need gears because for the most part the Batninja team wants Catwoman in the fight for as long as possible, so you don't really need to build combo for her with something else, so he can just sit there gearless 3 stars and you're going to have a great time. Coming in at number 5, we're going to have Black Manta. So Black Manta is a hard character to get because you're going to have to get a chest for him. That's the only way to drop him, and he's going to need gears. You can't run that without gears, and he's also going to be reliant on the star rating, but it is worth it for the most part when you get him, because you're going to pair him up with Brainiac, and he's most likely the character that you're going to give Brainiac to as free to play, because you're not going to give it to Mr. Freeze or Raven because you lack Beta Club. And Manta is going to do a very good job even without the Beta Club. He's just good, but he's gonna be hard to get, but he really pulls the damage, and it's a character that's definitely worth having. And when I was making the comparison previously to the Batman Ninja team, it was like if I didn't give him Brainiac, but as free to play, you're most likely going to pair your Brainiac eventually with Manta. So while he's not the biggest priority to get, he's hard to get, he's hard to gear up. Once you get him, you're not going to regret that you got him, and he's going to deal a ton of damage and soul rates for you. Coming in at number 6, and don't worry, he will score much higher on the pay to win side of things. We got my boy Brainiac. He's good at doing one thing: buffing the crap out of legendary characters with his passive and his special one. And while as free to play you're not going to get as much of a benefit from him as with pay to win because you don't have Beta Cup to stack very well with the lethal attack damage, it's nevertheless going to be a very good character. It's going to enable a lot of characters to deal a lot of damage for you, including Manta or another budget damage dealer until you get Manta that we're going to talk about afterwards. So he's overall going to be a great character, a great support character, and somebody you should definitely farm. And it's gonna be easy to get because he's got the challenge, and his challenge is, I think, the only legendary challenge that has cheap refresh rates, meaning you can refresh the first time only for 50 gems. So all around, great character. Coming in at number 7 for the free-to-play side of things, we have Mr. Freeze. So Mr. Freeze for the pay-to-win side of things is going to do great, but for the free-to-play, he's not going to do that great, but still well enough. I've seen some decent performance out of him with All Blades plus Raven, that's able to one-shot stuff in tier 8. I've seen some decent damage for him without Beta Club in soul rates. It's going to be very much like Manta, to the point where he needs to be geared up and as high star rating as possible, but once you get him, it's going to be for the most part a worthwhile investment, and he's going to pull the damage. But yet again, it's a slow going character. It's going to be far better for the pay to win side of things, but still he deals tons of damage. Like, why I put him below Manta is because for the pay to win side of things, this is not gonna matter too much, but you're going to get just a certain amount of hits before you break the freeze on the enemy. And if you have Beta Club, you're going to just do a jump attack, wait for the dot to expire, do another jump attack, wait for the dot to expire. But when you are not in possession of the Beta Club, you're going to get only those specific amounts of hits, having that huge amount of additional damage. And it's gonna be worth it. But it's gonna be far less efficient for you, but still a very good character. Coming in at number 8, we got Collector vs Superman. So this dude is going to be very good for free to play. He's not even gonna make it into the list for pay to win, by the way. He's not making it into the top 10 for pay to win, but for free to play, this dude is great because you're going to get him for free from his challenge, and he's going to serve as a very, very good replacement for Black Manta until you get Black Manta. After you get Black Manta is going to do far better than this dude in terms of raw damage capabilities, but until that point you can definitely rely on this dude to be in your top 6 teams and deal a ton of damage. Like, he doesn't have much to recommend him for dealing a ton of damage, except for this passive, which I don't even think it works that well or as good as it should say in here in theory, but it's simply a matter of this is a legendary character that you will get for free with gears for free that doesn't require to be in another team, and he's just there waiting for Brainiac to help him out to do some damage. So for free-to-play side of things, it's perfectly justifiable to build this dude until you get yourself a Black Manta, so yeah, farm him. Coming in at number 9, we have Arkham Knight Batman. So Arkham Knight Batman is a very good character. The only problem with him is that you don't really need him, but he's good. So the main thing of Arkham Knight Batman, like, he's gonna be great with all his passive and all that stuff, getting some health and energy when taking down an enemy, at the same time having this, buffing the crap out of the defensive capabilities of your tech and agility characters, so all around good stuff. The main reason why you want him is for his chance to stun raid bosses, because you got Heartbreak Harley Quinn who deals additional damage to stun bosses, and at the same time you got this dude who's able to stun bosses who are harmonious, which means they are immune to stuns. So to make Harley viable in League Raids, for example, you really need this dude, but at the same time you don't really need him, because in Soul Raids you're going to use Harley against fights that are not immune to stun anyway, and you can replace this dude with something like Predator Batman, for example, and you're going to have a very good time there. You're going to use a lot of times Raven with Heartbreak Harley Quinn, and if you're like, oh, but I don't have Raven, but I went out of my way and got Arkham Knight Batman, well, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Sorry to let you know. But yeah, you don't really need this dude, and nowadays in League Raids, since the introduction of Nora's Globe, Last of Joker is better than Harley in League Raids as well, so the necessity to have this dude has gone down the drain. At the same time, if you have him, that's great addition to your account, but as free-to-play, I really don't feel like this dude is anymore a priority. Coming in at number 10, we have Golden Armor Wonder Woman. I don't like her, not one bit, but honestly, there's nothing else you need as free-to-play if you're willing to conserve your resources, and this is something you're going to get without actually trying to get it. You really don't need anything, and we're going to get into a character I didn't make to this list, but it's as simple as that. She's got the challenge, she drops from the challenge, gears drop, she's decent in arena, I mean pretty good in arena, she can be paired up with Brainiac to do some damage. I hate her, but the truth is you're going to get her regardless. And now getting into the other characters and why I didn't put them on the list, because we got some big names that are not on the list. So first up we got the Suicide Squad team, and there was no way they were making it into the list because they are absolute trash in raids and soul raids. The only place where they do something is Arena and Champions Arena, and to get a team that requires you to get the characters plus their gears from chests and have the whole team for them to work properly, to only work well in the Arena and Champions Arena, nah bro, we're just not gonna do that. Just like Superman also didn't make it to the list, and he's a character that I don't have, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to get him. Because the thing is, this dude is great to have if you don't have to put any effort into getting him, but you have to. He's gonna be as hard to get gear up and level up as Manta, but he's going to provide very diminishing returns in comparison to Manta, for example. And the thing is, to use this dude as damage there, you kind of need to give him Just League Cyborg, and as free-to-play you're most likely going to use your Just League Flash as your damage dealer. And honestly, if it's a fight where he's not gonna have some problems dying, because Just League Superman is going to be far better at not dying, Just League Flash is going to pull far more damage than Just League Superman, so there's really no reason to go out of your way to get him. Next we have Darkseid. It hurts my soul, it absolutely hurts my soul to not put Darkseid on the list here, but the reality of it is he does nothing for you. He's great for Arena and Champions Arena. He's one of the best characters in the entire game for Arena and Champions Arena, but yet again, everybody can do well in Arena and Champions Arena. Like this way, if there was a survival mode in this game with good rewards, then this dude would score much higher. But for you to go out of your way to get a Darkseid from a chest, it's not gonna be a great time. And after you get him, it's going to be actually a hindrance to your account, because I've seen a lot of new players that drop this dude early and focus all their resources on him, only to realize afterwards that he's not pulling the damage and rage and soul rates, and that's the two most important game modes. So again, it pains my soul to not put Darkseid on the list, but the reality is, as free to play, you have no reason to go out of your way to get him. Last legendary character that didn't make it into the list for the free to play side of things is going to be Martian Manhunter. So Martian Manhunter basically is doing a lot of stuff. He's gonna be yet again good in Arena and Champions Arena. He gets some healing in there, great tank. The main thing that he's got is this passive, which will allow him to get more fast stack hits depending on the negative effects on the enemy. Where is this gonna work? With Silver Banshee, that's about it. You're going to use him as a combo builder for Silver Banshee. And in League Raids, Reverse Flash is the far better choice. In Solo Raids, you're going to get maybe a 5 to 10% damage increase from your Silver Banshee by having this dude instead of having Reverse Flash, and at that point, you really shouldn't go out of your way to get this dude since Reverse Flash is in the League store. So yeah, that's it for the free-to-play side of things. I've been kind of rough on some characters that I really like, but I try my best to make sure that I do this list in terms of what's most worth for your account to get and what will help you the most. Now, let's get into the pay-to-win side of things. Coming in at number 1, Raven, yet again. She was number 1 for the free-to-play as well, but over here it's gonna be even better because of this passive works very well. Beta Club, you can use Beta Club on her plus Brainiac, you can use her plus Kinflan Sakumen with Beta Club, you can use her plus Mr. Freeze with Beta Club. All around a very amazing character, the best character in the game by far. Coming in at number 2, Mr. Freeze, he's going to do the same good stuff that he does for the free-to-play side of things, but you're going to get so much more out of this dude if you have him at 7 stars and if you have his passive maxed out, and you're going to get so much more out of this dude if you have the Beta Club. Currently, he's the best Beta Club user in the game to an extent in terms of how much he actually benefits from it and how much of a pay-to-win experience is to have him with Beta Club compared to without it. He's just great with that thing, and he might get nerfed in the future, so something to look forward to in the future to see if this ranking of him is still actual. If this is not the case anymore, then by looking at the list, you'll most likely drop to position 4 and the guys on 3 and 4 will go above him. He's going to not trigger the freeze stacks that you need to break before enemy breaking freeze with the Beta Club dot damage. Like, the enemy is gonna stay frozen for ages with the Beta Club dot not affecting this, and the values are going to be crazy high when you add this thing up. Like, this thing alone, Mr. Freeze alone is able to one-shot stuff in tier 8 without Brainiac and without Raven. It is just crazy. Coming in at number 3, we have my boy Brainiac. I told you we were going to make up to my boy Brainiac for putting him so low on the free-to-play side of things. Like, my man, as I said, buffs the crap out of legendary characters, and if you have good legendary characters, high star rating legendary characters, Beta Club, sort of sin to put on him to not let the enemy power generate, he goes through the roof. He makes Raven deal billions of damage, he can make Mr. Freeze deal billions of damage, he can make Manta deal billions of damage. Just a great character all around, a great support. Pretty much steroids for legendary characters. Number 4 is going to be Deathstroke, and honestly, it's literally the exact same reasons why it was for the free-to-play side of things, for the percentage hell damage. Like, in previous lists, I did put Manta above Deathstroke and Batman Who Laughs. Not really Batman Who Laughs, because back then Batman Who Laughs still had the Beta Club synergy, now he doesn't have it anymore, so back then he was far better. But yeah, I did put him below Manta previously, but I just took a look at things in perspective. Manta is gonna deal a lot of damage for you. He's going to pull tons of value for you, but simply a lot of times, and for the pay-to-win side of things, you're going to get very quickly to high heroic levels in soul rates. The more health the enemy has, the better this dude gets compared to Manta, and now with the Nora Globe synergy, even if you only get 2 special 2s in total, like once the additional special 2 part clone, you're going to deal tons of damage. Just such a great character, and just good stuff, my dude. Just good stuff all around, and far more useful than I did think in the past. Batman Who Laughs. So look, in theory, before the last update, obviously before the last update, because previously this dude had this synergy where he could trigger the beta club dot damage with the percentage damage on his basic attack hits. That's not the case anymore. But on top of that, even with that removed, he would have still been better than Deathstroke, because he's going to deal pretty much as much percentage shell damage as Deathstroke, but on top of that he's going to do a little bit more than Deathstroke afterwards, because he gets a little bit of an attack boost. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, kind of good stuff. But that's really not the case anymore since we get Nora's Globe, and this dude doesn't have a great synergy with Nora's Globe. Like, he can do something, you can get stuck in final form and you're going to be able to get your percentage health damages out of the way far faster, but it's not gonna get additional ones, so it's simply a matter of, he does 36% health damage, Deathstroke does 36 plus an additional 10% at the very least from the clones currently. If that changes and the Nora's Globe synergy does not work anymore with Deathstroke percentage health damage on the special 2, just swap them around, put them on lefts above. Like, he's gonna be yet again a great character. The percentage health damage is just amazing. But yeah, let's move on. Coming in at number 6, we have a man Manta, and you might be like, what do you mean, Sigval? He's lower on the list for the pay-to-win side of things. Didn't you say he's a very pay-to-win character in terms of the fact that he's going to be hard to gear up, and the better he performs? Yes, but at the same time, you got to keep in mind that this dude is going to be pushed down over here. He's not necessarily worse than he was for free-to-play, he's better, but at the same time he's going to be pushed down by the ranking that Brainiac got and that Mr. Freeze got. And if we were to rank league rates specifically, and only league rates, he would be, let's say, number 3 on the list. Most likely, yeah, he would be number 3, he would be far better than Demolefs and Deathstroke, but in soul rates, that percentage damage that they do is just far better than anything that he can do. But nevertheless, he's a very solid character, he's going to be a very good damage dealer, he's going to pull a lot of values for you, and he's going to be most likely what you'll pair up with Brainiac if you put Raven somewhere else and don't use her as a damage dealer, since Mr. Freeze seems like for the most part he's going to be good alone, or good with Raven to buff him up. Like, he's good with Brainiac as well, but I feel like Manta is going to get a little bit more from Brainiac than Mr. Freeze. Like, not necessarily deal more damage, but you'll get more damage if you use Brainiac with Manta than if you were to use Brainiac with Mr. Freeze and Manta alone, for example. Like, it's hard to explain, but look, he's at this point, he deals tons of damage, that's all you need to know. Great character all around. Boy, remember when Manta used to be the best damage dealer in the game? That's quite a long time ago. And to be fair, the only characters that are above him, well, including Brainiac, excluding Brainiac, are new characters. So yeah, he's holding on strong. Very good character, but just not on par with the usefulness of percentage shell damage and how broken Mr. Freeze is for pay to win. Coming in at number 6, we have Grodd, and he's going to be great. He's going to buff the Beta Ninja team, and if you have the Beta Club, the Beta Ninja team is going to be far better for pay to win than for free to play, but I simply didn't really feel it justified to bump his ranking too much because of that, because let's be honest, you're going to have this dude regardless, and in most fights, if you were to not have this dude, your damage would not decrease by that much, but it would still decrease by a lot. But a must-have character, a very good character, doesn't do much himself, and I don't feel like his passive is like the most game-breaking thing in the game, but definitely something very useful and good to have. Coming in at number 8, we have Arkham Knight Batman. So look, over here we already got all the characters that we really need before we got to Arkham Knight Batman. I did explain why you do not really need Arkham Knight Batman, but at the same time he's going to be very good to have because of the special 2 type of team. Again, you can get around not doing that if you have limited resources, but if you don't have limited resources and you can get stuff easier, and he's going to also have a good chest to get him from now, it's good to have. If you feel like using the League of Anarchy team in League Raids against a non-stunnable boss, that's great to have him in League Raids, all that stuff. It's going to provide you some value. He's going to be a good character to have, and you only need him at 3 stars really. So yeah, all around solid character. Coming in at number 9, we got Justice League Superman. Like, look, my dude, as I said previously, he's really not a must-have characters. For free-to-play is not justifiable how hard it is to get, but if how hard it is to get is not really a burden for you, it's gonna be a character definitely worth having. He's great in Arena and Champions Arena. And Raids and Soul Raids, he can pull some damage. You might need to take Flash somewhere else, use him as support character, and somehow end up using the Just League team. You can use him with Batman Who Laughs, because Batman Who Laughs gets an attack boost from his passive because he's a Batman character. It's just good to have around. It's not the most must-have character, but if you got the resources to spend, I would kind of see this as something you would eventually want to get. And number 10 is going to be Martian Manhunter, like my dude. As I said, he's going to get you at most a 10% damage increase for Silver Banshee. That's literally everything he does. But if you have the resources to do that, you might as well go out of your way and do it. I got him myself from a Labor Day chest that had a ton of other legendary characters in it. It was overall a very good deal. I was not aiming for him, but I get him anyway. And I'm not too mad I got him. Like, he's doing stuff for me. He's being useful, but yet again, not a priority. But if you don't really care about the most optimal side of things, and if you get everything, you might as well eventually get this dude as well. Put him in the Silver Banshee team, and he's going to pull slightly more damage for you in Raids and Soul Raids. Now we're going to also get into the characters that didn't make it in the list for the pay-to-win side of things, and explain myself. Darkseid, again, we're mainly focusing on Raids and Soul Raids. You might have the resources to go out of your way and get the Darkseid, max him out, but still, he's not gonna do shit for you in Raids and Soul Raids. Let's be honest here. We're going to take a look also at Collector vs Superman. As I said, good character, solid character, but as soon as you have Manta, he's gonna be useless. And for the free-to-play side of things, there's definitely the argument to be made that he's used as a stepping stone until you get yourself Manta. But if you already got Manta, this dude is useless in Raids and Soul Raids. And we got the Suicide Squad not making it to the list for the exact same reasons, and Golden Armor Wonder Woman. It's kind of the same deal at Darkseid, but I consider her worse than Darkseid. So yeah, with that being said, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. Hopefully I satisfied everybody with this list. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one. And if you have a different opinion, get out of here. I'm kidding. Let me know down in the comments. You can have a civil discussion about it. I'm doing this mainly to try and, the first part is try and guide people towards what would be the best choice in terms of prioritizing getting legendary characters, and the second part is going to be to kind of put out a ranking for the peak performance of the characters. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!